I caught my wife cheating with my friend. Found their burner phone and printed everything. Hey Reddit. I, 27M, found out my wife, 26F, I'll call her Lily, has been cheating on me with my friend, 27M. Let's call him Ryan. A bit of backstory. We met when I was 22 at a mutual friend's wedding. Lily was a close friend of the bride, and I was friends with the groom. They seated us at the same table so we could get to know each other. The moment I saw her, I was honestly blown away by how beautiful she was. But once we started talking, I realized we had a lot in common. We clicked instantly. We talked the entire night, then hit the dance floor, drank, laughed, and eventually kissed right there in the middle of the dance floor. When we pulled away, the bride and groom came up to us, all excited, playing matchmakers. We laughed it off and exchanged numbers. About a week later, she texted me. Apparently the bride gave her my number. We went out and that turned into a relationship. Our relationship was great. We had small arguments here and there, but nothing serious. About 2 years later, I proposed, and less than a year after that, we got married. We had been married just over a year when everything started falling apart. Not long before our first anniversary, I started noticing little things that bothered me. Lily became more secretive with her phone. Girls' nights started happening more often. Our sex life basically disappeared. I brought it up multiple times, but she always brushed it off. Over time, I became colder. I stopped kissing her goodbye before work. Unless something important came up, we barely talked. One night, while she was asleep, I checked her phone and laptop. Messages, emails, apps, nothing. After reading so many cheating stories online, I decided to check her car. I took her keys and found a second phone. At that moment, I knew, but I wanted proof before confronting her. I didn't want excuses like, it only happened once, or any other lies. I went through the phone. There was only one contact. I read every single message, connected the phone to my computer, printed every message and every photo. That night, I also started researching divorce lawyers. I spent hours choosing one and finally found someone I liked. I emailed him, but it was Saturday, so I knew I wouldn't hear back until later. Then I decided to find out who the guy was. I took my phone, typed in the number, and was about to call pretending to be some internet provider rep. But then the contact name popped up. Ryan. Took me a second to process it. Then I completely lost it. I started yelling, cursing in my office. My wife opened the door to see what was going on. The moment I saw her, I told her, "Get the hell out." She closed the door and went back to the bedroom. I had never yelled at her before, not even raised my voice. That entire day, I sat in my office, silent, just staring at the wall, boiling with anger. Eventually, I called one of my friends, the groom from that same wedding. Let's call him Mark. I told him I needed a drink. He immediately asked if I was okay. I said no, I really wasn't. I grabbed all the printed evidence and went to a bar. I got there first, ordered 4 shots and a beer. By the time Mark arrived, I was on my last shot. He asked what was going on. I told him straight, Lily is cheating on me. He felt bad and asked if I knew who it was. I said, Ryan. He got visibly upset. He was the one who introduced me to Ryan in the first place. All he could say was, I'm sorry, over and over again. Ryan and I were never super close, but we were friendly at parties. I told Mark not to tell anyone yet. I had just found out myself and hadn't confronted Lily or finalized anything with a lawyer. I even asked him not to tell his wife. If she asked, just say I was dealing with work stuff. He agreed. We drank and talked almost the whole night. Around 3 a.m., I took a taxi home. That was the first time I checked my phone since leaving. Tons of missed calls and messages from Lily asking where I was, when I'd be home, if I was okay. When I got home, she was asleep on the couch. I went straight to bed. In the morning, she was already in bed next to me. I got dressed, left for work, and buried myself in it all day. I got home around 10 p.m. To my surprise, she greeted me, said she made dinner and asked if I wanted her to heat it up. I said no and went to bed. She followed me asking what was wrong. I told her to leave me alone. I wanted to sleep. She kept pushing until I snapped. Enough. I'm trying to sleep. Leave. The next morning, my lawyer emailed me asking to meet later that day. I confirmed. Downstairs, Lily had made breakfast again, trying to talk. I sat down, took a few bites. She said I'd been acting different, that I'd changed, that she wanted to know why. I told her work was stressful and things would calm down soon. Then I left. At the office, I was counting minutes until the meeting. Before leaving, I told my assistant I had a lunch meeting with a client, just in case Lily called. The meeting went well. I gave the lawyer all the evidence. He told me he was sorry I was going through this, but that it was good I had everything documented. He explained we live in an at-fault divorce state, meaning she likely won't get much from me financially. Honestly, I hadn't even thought about that. I just wanted out as fast as possible. He asked to keep the evidence, but I told him to make copies. I hadn't told Lily yet and didn't want her trying to twist things. He agreed. I asked when she'd be served. He said about 2 weeks. I thanked him and left. When I got home, she wasn't there. I called, no answer. Called again, nothing. So I texted, I don't care if you're with Ryan right now. Get home. We need to talk. She called back in less than a minute, asking what I meant. I said, come home. Now. She arrived in about 15 minutes. I said, wow, 15 minutes. That's about how far Ryan's place is from here, right? She looked shocked. I gave her a moment. Then I asked, nothing to say? She started denying everything, trying to gaslight me. I let her talk. She kept going, even started insulting me. That's when I slammed my fist on the table and pulled out the evidence. First, I held it up and said, look at this mountain of proof. Then I showed her everything. 1 page at a time. She started crying, begging me to stop, saying she loved me. I said, where did all that confidence go? A minute ago you were insulting me. She tried to hug me. I put my hand out. Don't touch me. Then she suggested we go to the bedroom and do whatever I want. I looked her dead in the eyes and said, I will never touch you again. Then added, you know who else has all these photos and messages? My lawyer. I'm filing for divorce. Then I told her, pack your stuff and get the hell out of my house. That was 3 days ago. I haven't heard from her since. People who've been through this. What should I expect next? Update 1. Hey Reddit. After my first post, I got a lot of advice and I followed most of it. This morning, I decided to start putting my life back together. First, I booked a doctor's appointment for STD testing. It's in 2 days. Then I told people close to me, my dad and a few friends. They were incredibly supportive, gave advice, offered help, but I told them I've got things under control. Next, I contacted Lily's family. I texted her parents, thanked them for welcoming me into their family, told them we're getting divorced, and that I'd miss them. Not entirely true, they're good people, but honestly pretty exhausting. Still, I kept it respectful. I said they could ask me anything if they wanted. No reply for a while. Then I messaged Lily's sister. Let's call her Emma. That one was hard. We were close, and I knew this would change things. I told her, hey, I'm sorry to tell you this, but Lily and I are getting divorced. Thank you for always treating me like family. If you ever need anything, I'm here. Around the same time, her parents replied. They were shocked, asked what happened. I told them, she's been cheating on me for at least a year, maybe even before the wedding. They said they'd try to contact her. After that, I reached out to Ryan's fiancé. Yeah, he's engaged. I don't remember if I mentioned that before. I thought maybe Lily and Ryan had some master plan. But either she didn't tell him I knew, or they're just idiots. I texted her around 2 p.m. asking to meet for coffee. She agreed almost immediately. We met at a small cafe near her work. I got there first. When she arrived, I didn't sugarcoat it. There's no easy way to say this. Ryan has been cheating on you with my wife for over a year. She was in shock. I explained everything. Offered to show proof. I gave her a folder with messages and photos. I made extra copies. She went through them and started silently crying. She thanked me, took the folder, and left. She looked completely broken. I know you all told me to stay sober and keep it together, but honestly, I crashed. I've been in my backyard all week, drinking, smoking, blasting music. After this week, I'll stop feeling sorry for myself and get back to normal. On a more productive note, I've packed most of Lily's things. Clothes, jewelry, everything. Even boxed up our wedding album and all photos with her. When she comes to pick them up, I don't want her staying here any longer than necessary. And before anyone asks, no, I didn't destroy anything. Everything's intact. Right now, that's it. Lawyers working. Doctor appointments scheduled. 90% of her stuff packed. If she doesn't cause drama, this might actually be the smoothest divorce ever. Thanks for reading. Any advice is welcome. Update 2. Hey Reddit. So, since the last update, I went full self-destruct mode. Drinking non-stop. At one point, I passed out in my backyard, surrounded by empty bottles and beer cans. I woke up to the smell of breakfast cooking. My first thought, oh great, Lily's back. Thinking breakfast fixes everything. I got up furious, ready to yell. But instead, it was Emma. I stood there for a minute trying to calm down. When she saw I was awake, she ran over and hugged me. Didn't say a word. Just took my hand, sat me down, and put a plate of food in front of me. While I ate, she told me how sorry she was. Apparently, when Lily showed up at her place, she just said we were having problems and everything would be fine in a few days. Emma said when I texted her about the divorce, she asked Lily, if everything's fine, why is he divorcing you? Lily didn't have an answer. I laughed and told Emma there's no way Lily could explain the truth. So I told her everything. Emma said Lily claimed it was a one-time mistake and that I was overreacting. I told Emma I have zero intention of reconciling. If you're here to convince me, you're wasting your time. And if you're in contact with her, tell her to get a lawyer. Emma laughed and said, I'm not here for her. I'm here for you. She said yes, Lily is her sister, but we're friends too, and she's not abandoning me, especially when I did nothing wrong. I won't lie, that hit me hard. I hugged her. I'd been worried this whole situation would ruin our friendship. Hearing that was a huge relief. She stayed with me for 2 days, sleeping in the guest room. She left this morning. I was getting ready to head to my cabin. I bought it before marriage, so Lily has no claim to it. I was packing hunting and fishing gear when Emma asked if she could come. I told her I'd like that, but she should probably go check on her sister instead. She agreed, hugged me, and left. And before anyone says anything, no, she's not into me. She's 20. Too young for me. This is just friendship. I'm genuinely grateful for her support. Almost forgot I went to the doctor. Got tested. Results on Monday. I also checked in with Ryan's fiancée a few times. She says she's okay, but clearly struggling. I told her if she wants to meet next week and talk, I'm there. And seriously, thank you all. You've been a light in a really dark time. Update 3. Hey Reddit. In my last post, I told you how Emma stayed at my place for a few days and left right as I was heading out to my cabin for a hunting trip. Some good news for once, I got a deer. A big one, healthy and solid. I managed to take it down on the very first day, which I was honestly pretty happy about. That gave me extra time to just relax and go fishing. I only caught 2 fish, but they were a decent size. I cooked one for dinner and froze the other. The rest of the trip, I spent processing the deer and just enjoying the peace and quiet of being out in nature. Aside from a couple of drinks a day, I stayed sober like I promised. Last week was my fall-apart week. This one, I kept it together. Now for actual updates. My doctor called, everything came back clean. Not a huge surprise, since Lily and I hadn't been close for a few months, but still, you never really know. Better safe than sorry. I reached out to Ryan's fiancée again, but didn't hear back for a while. Eventually, she replied and said she's currently staying with her family. She didn't go into details, but the fact she's with them tells me things are not going well. At least she's safe and has support. I told her if she needs anything, she can just let me know. She suggested we meet for coffee the next day, and of course I agreed. We met at the same cafe as before and talked for about 2 hours. We went over everything that happened between me and Lily. She asked what steps I was taking toward reconciliation. I told her straight, after cheating, in my opinion, it's over. The level of selfishness and disrespect it takes to cheat, especially for over a year, tells me she clearly didn't care about me. Then I asked her what her plan was. She said she feels lost. Everything she thought was real turned out to be a lie. She doesn't know what to do next. Move on or forgive Ryan. I told her if she can forgive someone after something like this, then she's a stronger person than I am. She said her entire family is telling her to forgive him and go through with the wedding. I told her honestly, just because your family wants something doesn't mean you have to agree with it. Then I added, it's obvious Ryan doesn't value marriage or anything that comes with it. He cheated on you, his fiancée, with my wife. If that doesn't show he's not husband material, I don't know what does. I told her she needs to do what she believes is right and not let anyone else make decisions that will shape her life. Then I shared something personal. When I first found out, my only thought was trying to find a way to make my heart override my brain, to convince myself to forgive Lily. But I couldn't do it. I also told her I only talked to one person about it before making my decision, and even then, my mind was already made up. No one could have changed it. Then I added, when you went to your family, you probably already knew what you wanted to do, but you let too many voices in, and now it's all mixed up. I finished by saying, the only thing you need to do is trust your gut. Your mind and your heart can lie to you, but your instincts usually don't. Not long after that, she thanked me, and we both went our separate ways. The next day, I got a message from my lawyer. Lily was officially served divorce papers. At work, I thanked him for everything he's done, especially how quickly he handled it. Shortly after, Emma called me. She said Lily hadn't left her room all day and was just sitting there crying in bed. I told Emma that Lily had been served and that reality was probably starting to hit her. Emma asked about my cabin trip and whether I got anything. I told her everything, the deer, the fishing, all of it. After the call, I mentally prepared myself and cleaned up the house. I had a feeling that if Lily was going to cause a scene, it would be now, after getting served. So now I'm just waiting. I told my friend, Mark, and he agreed that if Lily shows up, he'll come over right away to be a witness in case things go sideways. Right now, I'm writing this, waiting for Hurricane Lily to hit my house. If or when it happens, I'll update. Thanks again for all the support. Update 4. Hey Reddit. About an hour after I posted my last update, I was sitting at home expecting Lily to show up and cause a scene. I didn't have a concrete reason to believe she would. But after everything that's happened, I realized I never truly knew this woman. I checked all my security cameras, inside and outside, to make sure everything was working. Then I called my friend Mark and told him Lily had been served that day. I asked him to come over immediately if she showed up. I'm not about to end up in jail because of her. Turns out, I was right. Lily showed up at my house and started banging on the door, screaming for me to let her in. I immediately called Mark and Emma to come over. She was completely losing it, pounding on the door, screaming my name, begging to be let in, then switching to insulting me, calling me every name in the book, asking how I could be so heartless. Honestly, she wasn't entirely wrong, because the whole time she was out there screaming, I was inside laughing. One thought kept crossing my mind. Why doesn't she just use her key? As far as I knew, she still had one. When Mark arrived, she was still yelling and swearing, so he started recording everything on his phone while staying in his truck. But this idiot brought his wife, who happens to be Lily's friend. She got out of the truck and tried to calm Lily down. She walked up, hugged her, tried to talk to her. Lily responded by slapping her across the face and yelling at her to stay out of it. That's when Mark, who now had the whole thing on video, called the police. Lily kept screaming and cursing until the police arrived. As soon as they did, she immediately switched to playing the victim. One of the officers approached her, and she started crying, telling them I had hit her and thrown her out of the house. Meanwhile, Mark and his wife told the other officer what actually happened, that she had been outside screaming and banging on the door when they arrived. They couldn't confirm her claims. After speaking with them, one of the officers came to my door. When I opened it, Lily started screaming. That's him. He hit me. I want him arrested. The officer started putting handcuffs on me. I said, I can prove she's lying. I just need my phone. He stopped and told me to show him. I pulled up the security footage. After watching it, he apologized for jumping to conclusions and assuming I was at fault. I told him I understood. He also mentioned they had received around 15 calls from neighbors. Apparently, during her meltdown, she had been yelling, "He hit me," over and over, which is why they initially assumed the worst. After about 30 minutes of sorting everything out, Lily was the one in handcuffs. She was charged with disorderly conduct, public intoxication, and DUI. As they were putting her in the police car, Emma arrived and asked what happened. I showed her the video on my phone. One of the officers came over and handed me the case number and paperwork. Emma started asking questions about the charges, so I just went back inside. She followed me shortly after and sat down next to me. She told me she had only left the house for about 10 minutes to go to the store, and when she came back, Lily was gone from the living room, so she assumed she had just gone to sleep after drinking too much wine. We talked for a bit, and then Emma asked if she could stay the night. I told her she's always welcome here. She said Lily would have to spend the night in jail. For some reason, she couldn't be bailed out until morning. Emma also told me that after everything happened, she called their parents to explain the situation and asked if they could bail Lily out, since she doesn't have that kind of money. We each had a beer, then went to our rooms. This morning, when I woke up, Emma was already gone. She left to meet her parents. I haven't heard anything from Lily, Emma, or their parents since, but I'm guessing that conversation didn't go well. Update 5. Hey Reddit, I haven't heard anything directly from Lily since that night. However, my lawyer did receive a message from her attorney. He officially confirmed that he's representing her. So finally, the divorce process can actually begin. I also reached out to Ryan's fiancée to see if there were any updates on her end. We exchanged a few messages, and she told me she kicked him out of her place. She had her father and brother pack up all his things and deliver them to wherever he's staying now. Apparently, her dad and brother wanted to beat the hell out of him, but she stopped them. She said she just wants to move on and leave all of this in the past. She thanked me for checking in and said her close friends have been really supportive as well. That honestly made me feel a bit better for her. On Friday, right after work, I headed home. My plan was to go to my cabin for the weekend again. But when I pulled into the driveway, Emma was already there. She came to pick up Lily's belongings and had a list of everything Lily expected to get back. I went through the list, and everything except one item was already packed up in boxes and sitting in the garage. I told her straight, I'm not touching, moving, or transporting any of this. I'm not taking responsibility for anything that Lily could later claim was damaged. Instead, I said I'd pay for a moving company to come, pack everything properly, and transport it. Because right now, I'm heading to my cabin, and I don't want to deal with any of this. Emma said that sounded perfect and wished me a good trip. She grabbed one box of Lily's clothes and put it in her car. Then she turned to me and asked, "Can I come with you this time?" I said, "Sure. Why not?" I told her to go home, drop off the box, pack a bag, and meet me back. By the time I stopped at the store and loaded up my truck, Emma was already back. I locked up the house and we headed out together. The weekend was great. Honestly, last time I was there, I realized just how valuable that place is to me. The view is incredible. Total privacy. No people. It's the kind of place where you can actually breathe and feel like yourself again. On Monday, I called the moving company. By Tuesday, 3 guys showed up with a big truck and started loading everything. I documented everything. Every box. I checked it, recorded it being sealed and loaded. I took photos of all the furniture and recorded the entire loading process. When they were done, I thanked them for their patience and gave each of them a $50 tip. Then I sent all the videos and photos straight to my lawyer. The house now feels empty, but also clean, like a reset. When I first started the divorce process, my lawyer told me not to get rid of anything that could be considered shared property. So I had most of the furniture moved into storage. Since Lily left, I've been sleeping in the guest room. And honestly, even if I keep the house after the divorce, I don't think I'll stay here. There are just too many bad memories attached to it. Update 6. Hey Reddit. It's been a while since my last update. I coach a high school baseball team, so between finalizing the divorce, dealing with my soon-to-be ex-wife, and coaching the kids, I haven't had much free time. A lot has happened. So yeah, this one might be long. A few days after Lily's stuff was delivered, my lawyer received a claim from her side. She accused me of damaging her property and demanded $1,500, or she'd take me to court. My lawyer immediately sent over all the videos and photos and asked, "Which exact box contains the damaged items you're referring to?" He told me this kind of behavior will only make her look unstable in front of a judge. And while it might be annoying now, in court it'll actually work in our favor. I don't think her lawyer expected me to be this thorough. When I first found out about the affair, I went down a rabbit hole reading horror stories about how messy divorces can get. And I made a decision. I'm not becoming one of those stories. So I prepared for everything. Every possible accusation. Every scenario. At this point, I don't rule anything out. Lily calls me every couple of days. I never answer. If she leaves a voicemail, I don't even listen. I just forward it to my lawyer. Every time I send him something, he tells me, "You're every lawyer's dream client. You follow instructions, you document everything, and you came prepared." He wasn't exaggerating. And honestly, hearing that helps. It's one of the few things that makes this whole situation feel a little less overwhelming. About 2 to 3 weeks ago, my lawyer told me we already had enough evidence to completely destroy her case in court. But he suggested we try to settle anyway. It would look better from the outside. So we scheduled a meeting last week at his office. Before we went in, he told me, "No matter what she says, don't react. Everything here could end up in front of a judge." We arrived early that morning. To my surprise, Lily was already there with her lawyer. The attorneys greeted each other. We sat down in silence. Then her lawyer started. "What are you willing to offer?" My lawyer smirked and said, "With the mountain of evidence we have, her affair and her behavior after, the only thing we're offering is 50% of the house sale and 50% of the savings account. That's more than any judge would give you. You're essentially leaving this marriage with what you brought into it." Then he looked directly at Lily and added, "If you choose to go to court, I will present every message and make you read them out loud. Then I'll show every photo to the courtroom and ask you to explain exactly what you're doing in each one. And then we'll bring up your recent accusations, along with the video evidence." Lily broke down crying. She looked at me and asked, "Is there anything I can do to fix this?" I said, "You were cheating on me before we even got married. I can prove a few weeks before the wedding, but I'm pretty sure it goes back even further. There's nothing you can do to make me forget or forgive what you did. Sign the papers. This is more than you deserve. And I'm done with this circus you created." She cried for about 15 minutes. Then she apologized and stepped out to the restroom. When she came back, she was still in tears, but she signed everything. And shortly after, she left. So in about a month, everything will be officially finalized. After that, I just need to sell the house. I don't think anything else will happen. But if it does, I'll update. Otherwise, this is probably my last post. Thanks to everyone who supported me through this. Seriously, you helped more than you probably realize.